Hey guys, GMD here. It's been a while since our last video. We've all been very busy, but we're back again. There's been lots of reveals, especially this week with One Piece Day. And this video, I want to show you guys all the OP05 cards that have come out so far. Before we get onto that, I want to remind you guys that next week on the 29th is when Starter Deck 10 comes out. Not for EN, it's in Japan, but still, when it comes out, it looks like a very cool deck. The entire card list has come out, so if you guys want me to do a video on that, I will. It's not in the books right now just because I know I was a bit late to it, but I don't mind doing a video. It's a very cool deck. Every single card is a holo foil. It has Rush Zoro reprints, it has Search and Army reprints, it has these three as leaders. So yeah, very cool deck. And now I'm going to give you guys a spoiler warning. If you guys haven't seen what's coming next month, if you guys haven't read the manga, there will be spoilers in terms of like Luffy's upcoming like abilities, let's say. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, then I would recommend you guys probably skipping this video until next week. But I'm going to assume that everyone will have seen it just because it is everywhere. So that is your spoiler warning, and let's get on with the show. So as you guys know, One Piece Day was yesterday and the day before, and they showed a bunch of things. They showed new cards for One Piece card game. They showed new characters for games. They showed a teaser of the Gear 5 episode for the anime, and overall it was a very cool day. And to start off with, this is what the pack looks like, and I think honestly it's amazing. Like, it's fully white, it's got Gear 5 Luffy. It's just drippy in my opinion. The release date is confirmed now, 26th August, same as when it was leaked, day after my birthday, so I'm very excited for that. And as you can see here, 126 cards and 1 done. So let's go into the breakdown to show you guys what is coming up. We've got 6 leaders, 45 common, 30 uncommon, 26 rares, 10 super rares, 2 secret rares, 6 special cards. I think there'll be 1 of each color now, and obviously your parallel done. And then the first anniversary special card, which is drawn by Oda, which was actually revealed, and I'll show you guys right now. Here it is. This is the Rush Luffy from Starter Deck, and this illustration is obviously drawn by Oda. It looks very cool. I love like the black outsiding as well, and yeah, very cool card. I don't know if it is guaranteed per box or it's like a hit. They haven't really explained, but hopefully it's guaranteed per box because I very much want to get one. So that's that, and then there's 27 parallels, which obviously you'd have 6 leaders, 10 super rares, you would have your secret rares, so that's 24 there, and then you'd have your manga, and then maybe some others. So we will see what types we get. So first leader, Sabo. This made me very happy because obviously I did want a Sabo leader. I did imagine it might happen, and he's red-black, which means that we could play him with Ace and Luffy. He's OP0501, 4 life, 5000 power, Revolutionary Army type, and his ability is with 1 Don attached on the opponent's turn, only once per turn. If one of your characters with 5000 power or more were to be KO'd, you may instead give that character power minus 1000 for the turn, which I think is a very good ability, because to start off with early turns, like if you play a low cost, low power character, then essentially like your opponent isn't going to swing twice unless they've got rush the first turn, but you could protect your first character, etc. And just in general, it's a strong ability because it just lets you save a character without having to use a blocker or a counter. Next is Bello Betty, red yellow leader, 4 life, 5000 power, and her ability is activate main once per turn. you may discard one Revolutionary Army type card from your hand. So if you discard that Revolutionary Army type, then you will give up to 3 of your Revolutionary Armor or trigger type characters plus 3000 power for this turn. The fact that it's all trigger type makes it very strong as well, just because we already know that yellow has high power trigger characters. So the fact that you can now give them plus 3000 and it's up to 3 as well makes it very strong. And yeah, obviously we'll see how the Revolutionary Army characters are as well. I think the reason they've done this is that they might make Revolutionary Army characters low power, just so that Red isn't overly buffed, and then she can obviously utilize them well. And then with yellow, it's just sort of a broken ability. So yeah, she looks very strong. And we've got some red characters now. So we've got Koala, Red SR, 2 cost, 3000 power, and a 2k counter. On play, if your leader has the type Revolutionary Army, give up to 1 opponent's character power minus 3000 for this turn. Obviously she'll be used with Sabo or Bello Betty. With Bello Betty, like I said, it works well because if Koala's 3000, you can use this ability and make her a 6k hitter. And also, even if you were to not play her, you would have her for a 2k counter, and her on play is good as well. So overall, just a good character. Then we have Kuma, 2 cost, 2000 power, red common. On play, KO up to 1 opponent's character with power of 2000 or less. Once again, low power, but with Bello Betty's ability, it would be a 5k hitter. So is this what I mean, that like she seems very strong because she can turn a lot of characters into high hitters. And the trigger is if your leader is mixed color, play this card, which considering this deck, both Sabo and Bello Betty are mixed leaders, and it can also be used with previous leaders like Garp, red purple leaders from the set, if you were to use them. Obviously I don't know if it depends on your deck, but it's just a standard ability of KOing a certain power or less, which works so well with the red cards that we have. Then we have Bello Betty as a rare, and she's just a standard searcher for Revolutionary Army type, which is just, you know, it's a good card. Any searcher is a good card, especially with red because of how many searchers it already has. But I assume that even if you were to run, like, if you were to run a hybrid, it should be good. But even if you were to run a single with like only Revolutionary Army, it would still be good because you might be seeking certain cards. We don't have the other cards yet. I will say that the next leader, before I show him, the next leader is number 22, which means that there'll be 19 cards for red, not including the leaders. If we say that there will be 3 to 5 event cards, that still means that we have 14 to 16 character cards. Including these 3 here, I imagine that we'll have the other 3 commanders for sure. We might get Ivankov, we might get Inazuma, we might get Dragon, we might get the sub-commanders as well, which I don't remember their names, but they have been shown. And I think that's pretty much the only Revolutionary Army characters that I can name. Maybe a Nika Robin with Revolutionary Army might be really cool as well. But yes, either way, even if they don't entirely do Revolutionary Army and they buff previous sets, I still think it's quite cool that they're doing this, and I am looking forward to playing them. Now, on to the next leader. Another favorite of mine is Rosinante. He's a green-blue leader, 4 life, 5000 power. He is our first blocker leader, very cool. And his ability is obviously blocker, and then end of your turn, if your hand is 6 cards or less, set this leader as active, which I think is quite good. First, it encourages you to play your cards and not like sit around with like 12 counter cards, or kind of like what red does nowadays. Red stacks up so many cards in hand, and they always have like 11 cards in hand. But this encourages you to do to play your cards, and considering how many like cards there are in blue that would like trash from hand, I think this works quite well. and because he's a blocker, it means that early turns you can sort of protect your lower cost characters. Like you could protect blockers like Beige if you were to run that type. You could protect also searchers. One of the searchers I'll show you coming up. But yeah, just an overall interesting ability for sure, and I'll look forward to seeing how it's played. So we have Buffalo. He's green common, 3 cost, 4000 power. When attacking once per turn, if 2 or more of your characters are rested, you may set up to one of your cost 1 characters as active. Now, personally, I don't see many cost 1 characters in green that are useful, but maybe in conjunction with green, blue, etc., it might be more useful. In green, the only ones that I can think that are useful would be like searchers like Bonnie, Momo, and Baby 5 coming later. So yeah, we'll definitely see how this card plays out, but for now it's interesting. It might work better with more like mixed color leaders, but yeah, we'll have to see. Pika, 4 cost, 6000 power, green SR. End of your turn with using 1 Don, set this character as active, which I think is good. It just means that he will have to be KO'd through an effect, like either they would have to use cards to get rid of him, either way. And then once per turn, if this character would be KO'd, you may instead rest up to one of your other 3 cost or more characters not named Pika. So once again, not only like is he says active, if you try to KO him using like Jet Pistol or an event, or you lowered his power, etc., you could rest another character that you have. So I think like this is a very strong card. It basically is like a almost semi-permanent hitter. Like he would always do that damage, which I think obviously makes sense. It reflects it, and I think it's very cool. It does make Duffy more tempting to use Don Quixote Pirates, although I do think the film variation is still way stronger. And then, like I said, we've got Baby 5, green rare, 1 cost, 1000 power, and yeah, activate main, 1 Don. It's just a searcher for Don Quixote Pirates. So yeah, good card. You could search for Duffy, you could search for a specific character that you might need, for a counter maybe, but overall, yeah, standard and good. The next leader, before I go on to the next leader, just want to say Rosinante was 22, the next leader is 41, so there'll be 18 green character cards / event cards. So I imagine mostly Don Quixote Pirates. Maybe we'll get some more filler characters or buffs to other sets. We'll have to see. Sakazuki, blue black, which is quite interesting. 4 life, 5000 power. He's navy. His main is once per turn you can discard a card to draw 1 card, and when attacking give up to 1 opponent's character cost -1. Interesting. I think he does actually seem quite strong, just because you know you can obviously constantly draw cards, and also you can give -1 cost. It's also not once per turn, so if you were to restand him, which I don't actually, I'm trying to think if red or if blue or black has a restand. I'm not sure, but still, giving any character -1 cost in conjunction with other black characters, even blue characters that rely like bottom decking certain costs or less, I think could be very strong. And the next leader is Luffy. He's purple. So just to say that Sakazuki was 41, so it means that we'll get 18 blue characters. We haven't seen any of the blue characters, so my prediction would be Animal Kingdom Pirates probably, to buff like from the last set what they started, or it could be something like maybe just Navy characters or just completely something new. I don't know, because they haven't shown any. The fact that it's Rosinante and Sakazuki makes me think that it'll be blue. It'll be Navy just because that's the only overlap, but who knows. So yeah, Luffy, purple leader, 5 life, 5000 power. Activate main once per turn. You may take the top card from your life cards to your hand. If the amount of Don on your field is 0 or 3 or more, add up to 1 Don card from your Don deck as active. Interesting ability. It does mean that you can ramp quite quickly, even though it's at the cost of life. And the fact that he's a mono leader as well is quite interesting. People on the Discord have called him B-Tech red purple Luffy, but I think he might work better just because he's 0 or 3 and that Luffy is I think 0 or 7. So even though he has the life trade-off, it could be very good, especially like if I consider him with the secret rare that I'll show you guys at the end. It could potentially be like very fast paced, could end games quite early, but yeah, we'll have to see. There are some purple cards here, so I'll show you them as well. Law, he was revealed at One Piece Day. So SR, purple SR, free cast 5000 power. So his ability, when attacking, if your opponent has more Don cards on their field than you, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Heart Pirates type card and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So obviously with purple, if you use your minus abilities, which a lot of cards have, you are most likely going to end up with less Don than your opponent. So this means that you could proc Law's ability quite often, and even if you couldn't, he's a 5k swing. So either way, it works quite well. And I quite like the art as well. I know like there's been a lot of Law characters, but you know, I'm here for it. He's one of my favorite characters and he's so cool. So yeah. Then we have Eustace Captain Kidd, another SR, 5 cost 6000 power. He's a blocker, and your turn, once per turn, when a Don card from your field is returned to your Don deck, add 1 Don from your Don deck as active. Very good ability. It means you can regain Don quite quickly. So yeah, I will say that most definitely is a good card. The blocker as well, 6k blocker. So yeah, like not much to say there. Standard, very cool. I like the art. Now the next leader is yellow. The next leader is 98 and Luffy is 60, so that would put 37 cards difference. So I would say that most likely we're gonna have 18/19. We'll either have 18 or 19 either way, right? So if we have 18 purple cards, we'll get 19 black cards. If we have 19 purple cards, we'll get 18 black cards. So yeah, because no black cards have been shown, I can't really tell you what number it starts at or what it will be. Black has pretty much always been Navy, but now they've changed black to also have like Straw Hat Crew. So maybe just because Sabo is red black, they might do more Dressrosa. I couldn't tell you. We'll see. So yellow leader Enel, obviously Sky Island. Skypiea was the main one in this deck. So yellow leader, 4 life, 5k power, mono yellow. On your opponent's turn, once per turn, when your life hits 0, you may add the top card of your deck to your life, then discard 1 card for your hand. Which I think is a very strong ability. It obviously means that if you hit 0, you go back to 1 life. And considering like trigger cards and stuff like that, that could be very strong. And it's also once per turn. So basically, like, say you were on 1 life, you may want to take that first hit just so that you can go back to 1 life and then you can counter later. So it saves you resources and just overall is a strong ability. and yeah, the art looks very cool as well for it now. And then our secret rare. So yeah, they didn't show any other yellow cards. So if we look at the numbers, 118, and we've got 98. So that difference of 19 cards means that we'll probably get all your Sky Island, like the Commanders, Gunfor, Wiper, etc. Unless they choose to make those characters a different color, which I think is unlikely, but we'll see. So Kaido, 10 cost, 12,000 power, looks very cool as a secret rare. Because Kaido is blue, this is what makes me think that like blue might be Animal Kingdom pirates again. But I mean, like the Uta secret rare exists, and that purple wasn't entirely filled. So yeah, on play, if your opponent has 3 or less life cards, draw 4 cards. So yeah, I mean, like, not much to say. He's a heavy hitter and you draw a lot of cards. So yeah. Then finally we have our last secret rare, which is Gear 5 Luffy. The art is sick. I absolutely love this card. Purple secret rare. 10 cost, 12,000 power. He seems to be the main focus of the pack. Like, I know Revolutionary Army and Skypiea were like used to gas up the pack's like contents, but I do think Gear 5 Luffy makes it more hype than anything. His ability is quite interesting. So on play, Don -10. So you're using all your Don up. Place all your characters. It's all your characters. So it's not a board wipe. It's just your characters at the bottom of the deck. Then after this turn, take another turn. And then his main is once per turn, using a Don, add 1 Don from your Don deck as active. Now it's not entirely broken. I think they could have made it broken if they wanted. For example, they could have like not had a Don count for this. Like if this was just activate main, add 1 Don deck from your Don deck as active, it would be more broken. I think if it was a board wipe, it would be definitely broken. But yeah, essentially he gets rush. Now, in conjunction with certain leaders, this can work very well. For example, the red-purple Luffy is 6k and 3 life, right? So his ability is that if you're on 0 or if you're on 0 Don or I think 7 or more, you can gain a life. Yeah, so the red purple Luffy, his ability is if your field has 0 Don or your field has 8 or more Don, add 1 Don from your Don deck as active. So if you were to use that Luffy leader with this Luffy card, you would be able to use that ability to gain 1 Don, use this main to then gain another Don essentially. So you'd be on 2 Don. Then you'd have your next turn, so you'd go to 4 active Don at the start of turn. He would be able to attack, so that's a 12k swing. And with your leader, it would be a 6k swing as well. And then if you were to use the main again, you would go to 4 active Don and 1 rested Don. So that would bring you back to 5 in essentially 1 turn. And so yeah, I think that is very strong with certain leaders. People kind of do like just want broken cards, but I think like it works very well anyway. It's a heavy hitter and he essentially gains rush. Like it's a pretty much guaranteed 12k hit. So yeah, that is it. And now we'll go on to the parallel. So they said that they'll bring the manga parallels back for the leaders. They've showed 3 so far, which is here. Got Luffy, Rosinante and Enel. I am slightly annoyed that they didn't do the meme face for Enel, but this is still a very cool card, so I'll accept it. But yeah, this is 3 they've shown. I'm glad they brought it back. I don't know what they'll do for the other 3 characters. Hopefully, well, I don't know about hopefully. I kind of did like the alt arts that they did in OP04. even though I do like these as well. So maybe they'll also do manga faces for those three. Maybe they'll do a mix and match. We'll see. Then perhaps the most exciting thing is the manga rare. So here we are. We have Gear 5 Luffy, the secret rare, normal parallel, and the super parallel, i.e. the manga parallel. And it's honestly so cool. Like, you've got Gear 2, got Gear 3, Gear 4, and here you've got Luffy saying he'll be King of the Pirates. And I think, yeah, might be one of my favorite manga parallels so far, and I think definitely it'll be worth a lot. So yeah, overall just awesome in general. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of the arts. Let me know what you guys think of the characters, who you're looking forward to getting, who you think the blue characters will be, who you think the black characters will be. And just before we end, I do want to show you guys the promos that were shown as well. So there were 2 new promos shown. Got promo Yamato, and you've got a Zoro promo. They made the counter and the trigger secret. He does have a trigger. He could be good for Arlong with Wano Country. But yeah, you've got promo Zoro, promo Yamato. Be sure to check out all our socials. We've got a Discord in the description where you can talk to me. You could play me in One Piece on the simulator if you wanted to. You can check out my Twitter as well, and ask me questions. I do tweet about this stuff occasionally. I definitely will be doing that more often as well. So yeah, see you guys in the next video, and peace.